Whenever natural calamities occur, we hear the following statement that nature is furious, nature is reclaiming its space, or some might even say that this is God's judgment. Sometimes we hear such statements and we begin to wonder if that is true, if nature is really reclaiming its space, or if this is even God's judgment. To understand this better, we must ask the obvious question, that is, what does the Bible say about natural calamities? What does the Bible have to say about natural calamities? To understand this, we must go to the beginning. In Genesis chapter 1, God created the earth that was perfect. It was a paradise for human beings. It was a perfect place. But because of the sin that Adam and Eve chose to commit, the entire humanity, all of God's creation, was subject to the fall, which means everything came under a curse. And that is why in Romans chapter 8 verse 18 to 22, Paul makes it very clear that the entire creation is affected because of Adam's sin. And also when God sent the flood during the time of Noah, it wrecked the earth. If you look at Genesis chapter 7 verse 11, it says like this: in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. Just listen to that passage. The fountains of the great deep burst forth and the windows of the heavens were opened. This verse tells us that there was a catastrophic change in the way the earth was, because before the flood, all the landmass of the earth was together. There were no divisions between the landmass like we have today. But because of the flood and the disaster that God sent on the earth because of man's sin, the landmass broke into different continents. So we live in a world that is very different from what it actually was. So that is why today, there are tectonic plates that are constantly moving, and that is why we see fault lines in the earth. We still experience earthquakes, and sometimes new lands appear and existing lands disappear. We live in a broken planet. Dr. Andrew from answeringingenesis.org said like this: the world we see today is not the one that existed during Noah's day. So because of man's sin, the earth was affected, and because of all that, we experience natural calamities even to this day. So can we say nature is furious? No. Or can we say that this is God's judgment whenever cyclones or tsunamis or earthquakes appear? Maybe, because we do not know for sure. Because after God sent the rain, the flood on the earth, He promised to never destroy the earth with a flood. And so when a natural calamity occurs, we cannot say for sure that this is God's doing or this is God's judgment. But there will come a time at the end times when God will pour out His wrath through natural calamities in a very different way. But as of now, we cannot say for sure that natural calamities are God's judgment. But what we can say for sure is this: that earth is broken. We live in a broken planet, because of which we experience natural calamities. So whenever natural calamities occur, it is a time to remind ourselves that we are living in a broken planet, but one day Jesus is going to come and restore it back to its original state. I hope this helps. God bless you.